G'day guys, my name's Michael and today we're going to have a bit of a chat about the Peer Mentor program that we run here at Access Your Supports. It's a program that's been with us for about 3 years now, and it's something that's actually quite close to my heart given I was the first peer mentor at Access Your Supports, and I'm joined by two of my colleagues, James and Hannah. How you guys going?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Yeah, good.
Thanks for joining us today. So yeah, we're just going to speak a bit about the program and these guys, their experiences with their participants and how they go about supporting them in all different sorts of ways. So as I touched on just then, the program started about 3 years ago, and our role as a peer mentor is to really engage with our participants, build that relationship and bond over a certain amount of time, do some activities that interest them, such as going to kick the footy, like James and I would have done, and just your overall community participation was a big one. There's some other goals that we tend to work on with our participants, and that is so those independent living skills such as cooking and budgeting, which was really important. I know I did a fair bit of cooking in my time, but it was good to teach those skills and have a lot of fun while doing it. We didn't always get it right, but it was just about how we went about cooking and really building in those structures as well, which was really important. And just some other things we worked on was setting structures and routines with our participants. So I'm not sure if you guys do it, but I know a few of our participants a few of our peer mentors go into participants' homes and help out with after-school routines, like if there's any homework involved, or packing your bag for the next day, packing your lunch for the next day. Those really important things to make sure we're all organised. There's also a big aspect on working on fine and gross motor skills, which comes down to like kicking the footy or playing board games, playing with Lego, so those sorts of things. Exploring special interests, which is quite a big one. There's a lot of times our participants find it difficult to engage with their special interests, so that's where we would come in and help and enable them to reach those things, like if it's going to the beach or going to the Yangs for a walk. You've probably done that a few times, James.
Yeah, plenty of times.
Yeah. And yeah, just travel training as well, that's also a big one. So working with our participants to make sure they can travel independently one day. It's not a long-term goal, it's more of a short-term goal, but something that we have done in the past. And I was speaking before we came on about you and travel training with one of your participants. Do you mind running through that?
Yeah, so we would just go to her house after school and then walk around to the nearest bus stop. And then it was just working out timetables, actually the process of getting on the bus, touching on, going and grabbing a seat. And I found that sometimes she would get a bit overwhelmed, so having her headphones in with the music was really helpful. And then once we'd done it a few times, she just was familiar with the routine of catching the bus, where she got off, the timetable, and yeah, just gradually got more comfortable with it.
That's awesome, and that's now something that she can do independently as well.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, the main goal for us overall is to work on it with our participants, have lots of fun while doing it, and even by doing things like that, there's a big social aspect. So an expected outcome there would be to increase their social interactions and social settings, which is really good as well. Kicking the footy, how many times have you done that on shift? Lots of times?
I've done it a fair few times, but it's more like basketball, hand-eye sort of situations. And a good one is soccer as well.
Yep.
Get the feet involved, it's always good.
Yep.
Just something active, get the blood pumping.
Yep. No, that's really good. And I guess one thing not to take for granted is that social aspect that you have with all your participants. So it's not just going to have a kick at a soccer ball or going to play basketball. It's the things you do before, after, and during. You know, having a chat. How was your day? Just overall social interaction, which is really important, and something that a few of our participants do lack. And you'll find that it's often a goal in their plans that it's something that we can work on, which is good. Some other expected outcomes that we have is building that independence. So travel training is a great example and something we do often. Building those social skills, and you guys work with therapists as well. So often it's occupational therapists or might be speech therapists, and what your role in that is to reinforce what they're working on with them. And we're really proud to say here at AOIS we take that team approach and work collaborate. I can never say that word. We collaborate with other team members, which is really important, and that's how you get the outcomes, I guess. And I know you work closely with the therapists. Did you want to tell us a bit about how that helps you in your role?
Well, I guess because we don't have any formal training in an area, like we're all studying something related to the job, it's helpful that they might give you a visual story to help with transitions, or just they know the ways of engaging that help with just routines and just going out into the community. Even if you've got a situation where a participant might get triggered, then sometimes those visual stories and just a bit of knowledge on how to calm them down and de-escalate the situation is really helpful.
And often if something arises and you're not quite sure how to handle it, you either come to me and then we can get the therapist involved to work out how we go about overcoming those barriers to whatever that might be. So that's good. Hannah, you spoke about peer mentors and what they do. So you guys are studying in different fields, and as a peer mentor, we look for someone who can be a good role model for our participants. So it doesn't matter if you're studying you're studying psychology, which is a big bonus, but not necessarily something we look for. James, you're studying
mechanical
engineering, not really related to disability, but we identified in James that he could be a good role model and certainly engage well with our participants, which is something we certainly look for. And looking back at sort of our processes to when we have a participant come to us wanting a peer mentor, we then go about finding the right peer mentor, and often the main thing we look for is special interest. So if we had someone who was looking for a peer mentor who was interested in sports, engineering, well, James is your man, and our goal is to match the peer mentors with the right participant, and then we come together for a meet and greet, which is where we come together and have the peer mentor, the participant, and their nominee, so often the parent, and we just run through, I guess, the role of the peer mentor, and we run through goals, and we just get to know each other, which the feedback we have is that it's really handy, and often our peer mentors are a bit anxious before they come to meet the participants are a bit anxious before they meet their peer mentor, and having that meet and greet is really good to curve that. You guys have sat in a few meet and greets. Tell us how that helps you and what that does for you guys.
During the meet and greet, it's a real good icebreaker between us and the peer mentor and the participants.
Yep.
And it's a good way to interact, get to know them, see their personalities and their traits, to see how they interact with us. But it's a really good first experience for us and them, and to meet the parents and how they communicate, if they're self-aware, and etc. It's just a good icebreaker.
Yeah, and I think it's good to all be on level playing field and having those expectations laid out and analysing the plan, which is I guess what we're accountable for, and the goals, and working out what goals we can work on and what goals we can't work on. So that's really important as well.
I think as well, like it gives them a chance to meet us and let them decide if they vibe with us or not. Like you're not necessarily going to get on with everyone or have that initial connection, and that's okay. So having the meet and greet kind of gives them a safe zone with their parent there and to meet us rather than us just rolling up to school and picking them up like a kind of a stranger. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing we have here at AYS is on our website we've got bios about our peer mentors, which is really good, and we find that it's good for our participants to jump on there and have a look if they want to, before they meet you face to face. So on our website we've got bios about our peer mentors, so what they're studying, what they're interested in, and why they've come to be a peer mentor, which is really important. And just on that, if we've got potential participants out there or family members who think a participant would be good for a peer mentor in either our Geelong or Colac regions, you can visit our website or call us on 4222 7479. I also wanted to have a bit of a chat about you guys and we spoke about you both studying. How does your peer mentor role fit into like your work-life balance?
I guess I'll go first, I suppose. I guess uni life, yeah, it's a good, but it can be a good balance because we work between the parents and when they're available. So, yeah, it's a good balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can work in well because our uni lifestyle is pretty short, and yeah, typically the parents have plenty of time for us, anyways.
So the participants, I guess, fit in well with us, which is good. How do you find Hannah?
Yeah, like the after school shifts are really good because you've got the whole day to study. It's almost like you've got the school time to study and then you just go pick them up after school. Obviously like the daytime shifts are okay as well because you might have still 3 hours between like a morning shift and an afternoon shift to really smash out some study.
I guess you don't do that much study, do you?
That's right.
That's right. Awesome. And overall, I guess the job satisfaction is quite good because when we first started the meet and greet process, and I guess I can vouch for this because I saw it firsthand as well as a peer mentor, seeing that transition over a certain amount of time to building a goal like travel training, you've given that a big tick that you no longer need to help with that. Let's move on to the next thing. So it's a really satisfying job as well, I guess. Yeah. No comment there. I guess one example I had as a peer mentor, which I always look back on and something that I'm really passionate about, is working with participants to increase their social outings, and it can be a real barrier for some people, and it's something that we appreciate and want to help with. So I worked with a boy who had a lot of anxiety around leaving the home without his family present, and we worked on that for 6 months. It was quite a grueling task, but we got there in the end, and it started with a walk down to the shops to get lunch, and that over time built into day trips to Melbourne, which was massive, and he's still going great from what I hear. I no longer see him anymore, but having that I guess tangible evidence of us doing good things is really good to see, and I guess something that keeps us going as well. So yeah, as I said, if we've got people out there that are interested in the program, please just give us a call, and we're happy to help. And yeah, have we got any questions from Facebook Live? No, I don't think so. Thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for joining us today, everyone. See you next time.